Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valerie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and this is your home of your burning and learning. And I'm joined with hubby.
Okay.
And today we are starting where we kind of left off last night. If you were trying to watch last night's live replay, scrub through, I think it's about the first 10 minutes of the live. Audio does get better. Hey, Spence. Hopefully everything sounds good now. We've got the window closed. That seemed to be our problem last night. Alrighty, so I've got a smaller oval picture of just the area I want to focus on that's up on the screen, and that's just to push these two separately because we have multiple layers of the canyon, of the cliff walls, and they all kind of perspectively lay over each other. And so we have to pay attention to that. Some are darker than the other as they come forward and they have less light hitting. And this is darker side than this side. And this is the lightest. So we're just going to do that. Hey, Burl. So I've got the 18S already. It's nice and hot. I'm actually going to lower the heat a little below 3. That way it's not so dark. And we are going to get started right here. So this right here, this stroke, is going to help to start pushing out from the back. Now it's going to look dark. It's always going to look dark. Deep breaths. Okay, it's okay. Not you.
Oh. We got Amy here.
Hey, Amy. So actually, I can go a little bit darker. And then I'm just going to use the tip to go across where the strata of the rock has more indent at the top. And this will help push this back and actually give me a little bit more visual of what I need to do with that one. And then when I'm putting in the rest down here, it all works together. I know it may feel overwhelming, but once you start getting things laid in, it'll feel better. It'll look better. Now I am just dragging down, so I'm going to up to 3. Just so my heat is a little bit more consistent, and I can tap in right here. And actually, making this part darker is really going to help push me to make sure I have the contrast right in the other areas. So,
that's a sigh, Beryl. Sheila's here.
Hey, Sheila. Alright, so there we go. So we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to put every line in. What I'm going to do is drag down here. That way we can see where things kind of start switching over to the river. And remember, when you start off lighter, you can always go darker, plus the building up of your darks, going over a lighter burn and making it darker.
Yes, I will share. Catch.
Will help.
You can't help it if you can't catch it.
No.
Sorry.
Give you more depth into the burn. So it'll feel like it has more going on with it. So that definitely helps your perspective and your lighting. I'm just trying to get up next to this graphite line so I can erase it. Now remember, if you print out your photo bigger of an area, you're not going to see as much detail on a smaller piece. So just keep that in mind. We're going to put a bush here, kind of break it up a little bit. And I'm just using the end of my pen and just tapping and kind of moving it around to give it a little more separation.
So that bush isn't in your reference?
Looking at my reference, it's hard to tell if it's an actual bush or if it's a rock because it's so small. So I'm just going to...
So you're improvising?
Improvising, but also just kind of getting a shape in there. And it can be either one. I don't have to stress about it. It's nice when you don't have to stress. And this is definitely one piece I don't think you need to stress about. Alright, so let's go up here. So up here, these rocks, the strata is more going across. So we're going to use the tip of the pen and just drag some of those in there. I'm trying to stay as parallel as possible. Sometimes that's a little hard. And see, we have a rock that kind of sticks up here, so let's get it in there. Kind of shape it. And we're going to go ahead and erase some of these lines. Don't need them. And your burn will also lighten up a little bit when you erase, because the graphite can be seen through even more moderate burns. So once you do that, backtrack. We can't see detail, but we do need to get our shadows right. So some of this is lighter because it's sticking more out and it's a different type of rock. So I can hold the pen down flat and just drag. Let the wood pull the heat from the tip and use that to help with shading. And if I want an area darker, like right here, we do have an overlap that goes right. This is one. This is one. And then we have, I hate when that happens.
What happened?
Oh, I keep bumping like I did last night. I keep bumping the camera cord right up against my lips, so it's really makes it itchy.
Oh.
So let's get this separation in here. This separation helps. Now you may not see every single separation when you look at the piece, but having them in there helps give it more, not more texture, but more interest. And so your eyes appreciate jumping around. It's fun. Alrighty. I gotta look at my tonal. Remember, my sepia is my tonal reference photo, and the color is my detail, because things make more sense. Let's get up here and get this guy in here. Am I still on camera?
Yes.
Alright. Well, I went higher up, so I want to make sure. So we'll get this in here. Kind of follow the direction. We can do tapping. I can do a lot of this piece just with this pen. If you don't have a pen like this, then you can also use your ball tip. You can use your other shaders. The spoon shader works as well. Let's get that in there. So we're just getting our, and right now it looks really dark, and I even have to remind myself, it's okay. Totally okay. Don't freak out. We need these darks. Alright. So we actually have kind of the face of the cliff changes. So this is facing this way, and this part of the cliff is facing this way. And I know that this part of the cliff is lighter. And we have we actually have a line that helps separate the two. We've got trees on the top of our canyon. Let's get this one in.
Yeah, I just realized with the round, you can rotate it around to wherever you need it.
Yep, it's easier. I mean, it's easier to rotate. Yeah, as long as I have my easel at the right angle so it's not falling off. Alrighty, so let's get some of these darks in here. We got a line here. And we're just putting in shapes. That's all this is shapes. Shapes of what we see. So we don't have to stress. No stress. Everyone can do this. It definitely feels a bit overwhelming looking at all the lines. but it's not as much as you think.
Yes, Amy, popcorn. I'm trying not to make too much noise.
That
if I'm
would
making
be
too
a
much
first.
noise, chat, let me know.
That would be a first.
You saying I always make noise?
Yes.
How unfair.
How's that feel?
How rude.
Alright, so we got to remember we have this side of this face that comes down. So I'm going to follow kind of the shape of it and draw it in. And because this part, and this may be where it gets a little confusing. So let me see if I can find a way to help visualize. So this part of the face is going up and down. And then looking at our reference, we have another piece that's coming down. They're both facing the side, so we're looking at this angle right here. This is getting less light, so it's going to be darker. And as this face goes over, it kind of lightens up. And it's going to keep doing that. We're going to have a little step down, and then it's going to make another one. And that's what we're paying to. We're paying attention to this face of the canyon right now. And then the side is facing us with the light, because our light is coming in at this direction. This is the direction of our light. And hopefully I didn't just confuse everybody.
No. No, not Troy's Doritos, girl.
It's... Alrighty. So let's get...
I think what helps is if you can kind of visualize it three-dimensionally, like understand where, again, like everything, just imagine where the light source is. And
maybe you have to take a pencil and just kind of draw an arrow on your board. Something that's easily erasable, it's not dark.
Yeah.
That may help you in making sure that you kind of stay on track. Now I'm actually turning the pen sideways and using the edge of the pen in order to kind of cut in that shadow. It might kind of look like a line, but it's not. Not like that. It's not an outline. Let's see here, so I can actually darken in here. See, I went over a little too far right here. So I'm not going to stress about it. Let's bring this down. This one's not getting any light. And I can drag across to help shade it and give that same texture without it being in your face. Let's see, some of this. We also have to pay attention to, there is a specific curve. It's not all straight lines or going across. It curves, so we have to kind of follow that. So I'm going to make these darker. And then I can darken this up down here. And it's just going to be a matter of going back and forth. I'm not going to stress. I think part of that's me telling myself that more than you. Not going to stress. So let's get our steps in. Some are closer than others. So it's really just a back and forth. And when lines get closer, that just means the step is smaller. And some of these, we can actually just do some ovals to put some dirt texture in without it being overly...
Wingman's here.
Hey, Wingman! Alrighty. So now we have this line that goes up. So what this is actually telling us is it can go further over. It's more here because this is where the cliff wall, looking at the reference, where it changes. So I can actually move this up. Now, a lot of this I'm doing even more freehand because I didn't transfer all the lines. Remember, just shapes. deep breaths and shapes. It looks dark, but as we put more stuff in, it will not be as dark. So we have lines that are like this, and then we have the straight on lines. This is just the side. And our tonal value is actually very close. So what we're going to do is I'm going to choose to go a little lighter. I can always darken it later. Bring that in. And then the strokes down help give us kind of the breaking up of the cliff face and that texture. So we can use our pen to do less work. Let's see here, so let's bring this in. And then look over at my colors. This is later. Right now, it looks like a giant mess.
No, I don't know about that. It feels like it's coming together to me.
Does it? Because right now, it feels like a giant mess to me. Alright, let's get rid of some of this graphite that we don't need. I don't want to erase too much up there. And blend some of this together because they overlap each other. They touch each other, they move, they curve, so they're not straight lines. So we are going to make sure that they have a place. Oh, my lip itches. We can use the side of our pen to kind of cut in to where our darkest shadows would be. And again, people aren't going to notice that the wall is not exact. They're just, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. See, we have some foliage that goes up to this cliff line right here because we've got that cliff line. What I've just been doing is tapping in and bringing it out and trying to change direction so it's not all symmetrical. I don't want it symmetrical. And I want to go up the cliff in the direction that the cliff, the dirt kind of settles. So there's the little ravines that are coming down. I still didn't look up the word that I wanted. Let's see here. We got a little bit of cliff here, so let's get some cliff. Here, I can't really see it in the photo, so I'm just going to drag down and give us illusion that we got some cliff rocks going on. No biggie. And erase that graphite. Excuse me. And this will be a constant back and forth trying to build it up. We can change this curve here. Now this takes us down into the river. So we gotta pay attention to the direction. Like this I know is a bush. That's how I drew it in the pattern. You can use your ball tip. You can use a large shader. Just use the tip and tap it in. Because we're going to be having more foliage in here. So these right now are kind of like holding places. They're placeholders because we'll build them up and change the depth as we go.
So they're literal landmarks.
Yes, little landmarks. So we know this is darker here because there's no light hitting. And see, it's starting to have texture on the wall. And what I'm going to do real quick, because I need to see, is I need to back it out so I can see what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'll do it this way. Now I'm going to have to sit sideways. And that's so I can see on camera, so I can get that different perspective. Make sure It's a little harder because I have to sit further back. But I can do it. You are noisy.
I'm sorry.
So right now, this is not going to be our final tonal value. This is going to go darker, just like the river is gonna, all this foliage is gonna go darker. I actually altered this photo so that it would be darker to give it more interest. Now, if you're just downloading it from the Pixabay site, that photo is lighter. So it's totally your call. No right or wrong way. I wanted more contrast to it, where I could visually see the contrast.
Everybody's so quiet.
I know. Burl's got her special emojis she can use. Yes, I'm going to actually turn a little bit. Get some darks in here. We don't see details, so we'll just lay it in. Come back to it later. And because of how dark I did this area, we're definitely going to have some of these darks down in here. And these darks will help balance out. Because right now it kind of looks top heavy because we got dark up here and then it's lighter down here. So we definitely need to make sure we have more of those darks.
Spence says they're very focused.
Very focused.
I'm glad you guys are focused.
I just hope that means I'm going in the right direction. Because a lot of times your questions help me. Alright. So because I've got some of this burned in, I actually have to bump my heat up just a little bit. In order to darken more. This time I'm actually going to use just the tip and use the oval stroke to build up those darks. Just makes it a little easier. So let's get some of these more.
So you're just moving the pen in ovals?
In ovals and up and down and back and forth. I actually am liking so far this cut of board. I haven't had any issues with strokes in either direction. This wood seems to be okay with however you want to burn. Let's separate this out a little bit.
Burl is now using her emojis.
Are they moving? They're not moving.
They're not moving.
Why are they moving?
Are they supposed to move?
They're supposed to move.
Oh.
How are they not moving?
Well, they're not. Burl says they're too small. I want bigger.
I can only go so big, but I actually do want to make bigger. They just may not be able to move if they're bigger. YouTube does give me a limit on the size. Alright. Remember, I've darkened up. I just remember what I was doing, so I'm going to come back to it. So here we had some of the ravines that don't get any light, plus they're darker rock. So we're going to use just the tip and drag down, kind of break them up a little bit. We're going to go darker. I need to turn. And actually, if I turn this way, does that bother you guys? Because then I can scooch up like this and the camera's not in my face. Whew. Oh, that makes it much easier on my eyes. Wow. And I can drag up. This allows you to drag up with the tip without having to worry about getting it caught in the grain and breaking a tip. Because some tips will break if you try to go up, because it's just rubbing the wood the wrong way.
I don't know why they're not moving, Burl.
That is odd. I made them to move. Alright. So in changing this direction, you also have to change your brain as to what you're looking at. Especially, I don't recommend doing what I'm doing right now, and it's only because I'm used to doing this. And that is, my reference photo is still upright, like the way I had it originally. And I'm burning at a different angle, a very big different angle. My brain's used to being able to change the direction, but if you're new to burning, it may feel very odd and overwhelming. Just flip your reference photo to go along with your burning.
This is
Don't make it harder for yourself.
This is a skill that I think over time all artists eventually pick up, because you can do it in any medium. Sometimes you don't have the option to change the angle of your reference, but it's easier to create the art with the whatever it is that you're arting on.
Arting. Alright. Arting.
Burl says, "What burner to buy?" Optima.
Oh, see, everybody else hasn't seen that yet. I'm waiting for it to go live on Giftly, so that everybody can.
Clearly, Burl has.
Yes, because he is a member. He got it, and he got to see it in the group. So we also need to make sure we pay attention to these lines, in that how we do our lines will change the perspective of how everything's laying. So meaning, if you're working on a building and you don't pay attention and you have your lines perfectly perpendicular all the way down, if one of them starts going off, you start going off with the next one and the next one, and then it starts making it feel like your building is leaning. So you got to keep those lines going in the exact direction that you want them. Luckily, with a canyon, a cliff can lean. So if you're a little off on that, totally okay. Nobody's going to notice. Let's get some. So I'm trying to go with the direction of the rock. Bring this up. Now we have a line that I can kind of break up this line. Bring them together. Darken going down. Connect them, because they don't all run straight up and down. They connect. Let's see here. I just make it up that dark. Not a big deal, because this is meant to be darker here. If I get blobs, I'm not really so worried about it, because it'll look like a rock. See, I know this piece feels overwhelming to those new to burning, but this actually allows you to really freely burn, make all kinds of mistakes, and still look good, because nobody else, I turned too far up, nobody's going to know that you oopsed. So I definitely recommend giving it a try. Like I said, I made the pattern. It's in the Facebook group that's linked below in the description. Or you can do your own. That way you can put down the lines that you want. Totally fine. I went ahead and released my pattern to make it easier for...
Moritz is here.
Hey, Moritz. Alrighty. So let's just kind of bring some of these lines together. Make sure we're going up and down, because these are more up and down cliffs. Like this line does actually kind of go out. Yeah. So let's bring it together. This is darker. We got cliffs here that we kind of put in. And then, as we come down, we got rocks.
Amy says, in that case, severe erosion and rock slides are allowed?
Yes. Nobody will know the difference. The Grand Canyon is such a iconic piece, but because there's so much going on with it, nobody's going to notice. I mean, do you notice in the reference that I took out the people?
I didn't even notice that there was people.
Well, I found a
until she
third
out.
person. I mean, there's actually 5 people in this photograph. Knew about 4 of them as I was making the pattern. I found the 5th one. I was like, oh, more people. And another person. But I took them out. You can't even tell because they are just part of the bigger picture. If you want to keep the people in, by all means do so. Just remember they're going to be tiny and there will be no detail. It's going to be like a filled in, almost like a filled in stick figure.
No.
They're that tiny in the photo. Yeah, you can't see hair. It's just a dark blob. You can see the legs if they're separated a little bit. You can tell if they're wearing shorts, but that's pretty much it.
Moritz, I'm well. I have been busy. I've been in the studio a lot, which is
a good thing for
a good
me.
thing. So, you could actually say if you wanted to do people but they're too small, you could make larger things, like, say, Godzilla fighting Optimus Prime.
Why is Godzilla stuck in your head? This is the second time in 2 lives.
Because he's large, like the Grand Canyon.
So right now I'm just doing ovals, kind of getting the sand texture, breaking it up. Now this light right here is throwing things off. There we go. Push it back.
Push it back real good.
Push it way back. Alright, let's get some of... And these I'm just doing the ovals with the tip. I have not adjusted my heat, and I'm just laying in the dirt. I will go back and add anything that needs to be added later. Not stressing about it. No stress. In fact, I can tap in, get a bush here. Woohoo, we got a bush. It is really that easy. So if you're new to burning, I highly recommend it. Again, I know it's busy and you may feel like it looks like a mess when you're done, but you will learn a ton with this piece. A ton. Because there's just so much going on. Let's see here, we can darken up some of this. And it's kind of hiding. Let's do this with the wall. Let's kind of bring that up.
I think that would be good, Moritz. Godzilla versus Ghidorah. I am partial to Mothra or Mechagodzilla, but
now I'm just using the whole kind of...
I can see there was no comment to that.
Because I don't know any of that stuff.
What?
I don't care about that stuff.
I don't...
Yes, I said that. I don't care. You guys enjoy. I will never Zilla block you, okay? I just don't care about it.
Oh, my heart.
I know. You'll live.
It hurts.
You'll live. So now this tells me this right here is more of a shadow. It needs to be darker. Now, as we get to the closer cliffs, those will have more detail. So this will have the most detail. And this area over here that's under the... will have the second most detail, along with the up close water and the rocks down here. So we don't have to stress.
Merle, since she's behind, she just add Morgana to it.
Yeah, I had thought about doing that, but nobody seemed interested in adding the dragon to the Grand Canyon.
Well, you didn't ask me.
I did too. I told you. You just kind of laughed and didn't say nothing.
I feel like I supported that idea wholeheartedly.
No, you didn't. Alright, just trying to get some of the rock texture. We see a little bit more because there's a little bit more light hitting. So I'm barely touching. I'm just barely sketching through. This is more of a sketching motion, like if you were using a pencil or a pen. You just kind of barely touching your surface. So that's all I'm doing. We do need this lighter here. And again, just sketching it because it's not highly detailed. So we will connect these so they make more sense. And some of it comes over. There we go. We're just sketching in some areas. And if I go over a little bit, guess what? It looks like trees now. Really, this is not as bad as it looks. I mean, it is a lot. It is a lot, but it's not as bad as it looks. We also need to, I need to finish the gallery. I need to start getting the photos together for our next 6 months of community projects. Burl has offered one of her bear photos on her trip from a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I think we are going to be looking at doing a bear. She's giving us the permission to use it. She's awesome. I still have another bear I haven't finished. I definitely want to find other things that I haven't burned before.
I feel like you barely started that. Get it?
Yeah, I do get it. That's why I laughed. Alrighty. Right now it looks off, but as I put more in, it will look better, I promise.
I don't
Just
think it looks off.
stick to it. Well, it feels... It needs more, but we're getting somewhere. We're already... Look what I did in half an hour. Not too bad. Not too bad in half an hour. Right now that kind of looks like a waterfall, so I do need to kind of separate some of the rocks or detail out and blend in some of the lines because it does right now kind of look like a waterfall. Not that a waterfall would be out of place for the Grand Canyon, just not what we're doing here. Alrighty. So I definitely need to get more work done on this for next week. I'm going to try and take this photo off so that I can back out a little bit. The camera's going to be my face so that we can see a little bit more of what's going on.
You have done quite a bit of work to this.
I've actually only spent a couple of hours on this. This is probably the least amount of work I've done this so far time-wise.
I feel like you're getting faster.
It's because with landscapes, it's so abstract that it's easier to go quicker.
I wonder if that's why Bob did landscapes.
It's possible why he did landscapes, because he didn't have to focus on certain details to ensure that it was the person or the specific animal you were trying to do. That is a lot more detailed stuff. So we are getting there. Yeah, trying to think what we're going to do. I want to get as much of these back ones done and more done on the river. So I think we'll actually look at this side. Give our brains a break and we'll work on this side next week.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So that'd be next Monday night?
Next Monday night.
Okay.
Yep, that'll be next Monday night. And if you haven't seen my post in the Facebook group, YouTube gave me the join button. Yay! Party.
But Valerie, what does that mean?
You can be a Drawing with Fire member on YouTube, which gives you different perks for different levels, however works for you. And if you go to a higher level, Then you get the perks from all the stuff below and moves up. In fact, we do have... Amy, I'm telling you, that's what we're doing right now. Become a member, enjoy it. It releases, it unlocks the Bernadette emojis.
Unleash the Bernadettes.
Unleash the Bernadettes. Got to be a member to get those. We do have a Bernadette Inferno. So guess what? Greg gets 2 live streams a month by himself because we're waiting for other people. That's a $9.99 and up membership. We're doing 2 extra lives a month. That's just for the toasties. It will not be monetized. So there'll be music and whatever else we feel like doing that YouTube, if we monetize, doesn't let us do. So
more popcorn. More
popcorn, chilling out. Right now, like I said, Greg is an Inferno. He's part of the Inferno crew. So he, until we get more people, is going to be saying when those 2 lives happen. And then as we get more people, then we'll balance it out for everybody. We did 2 live streams. So if you're across the world, we'll still have a time for you as well.
But wait, Valerie.
Oh, there's more.
Is there more?
There is more.
But what if if I don't join, will those still be live streams?
Absolutely. Nothing on the channel is changing if you don't join. Especially right now, I totally understand. Nothing is changing. Still the live streams, videos, just more happening if you are a member. That I know $49.99 is a lot for the highest Bernadette producer perk, but that also gets 45 minutes alone with me and you just working on a piece that you want to work on. Greg is also going to be getting a video that's sent to him every month that is critiquing a piece that he sent me with the questions that he wants me to look at. So that video is just going to be for him. And if you join that, do the Inferno, you will get your own video. I do need to make a video, like standalone video explaining this to everybody. $4.99, I changed it so everybody who is a member can join the super secret Drawing with Fire group over on Facebook. You have to be a member in order to join, and you will only see the link in the community tab if you're a member. It is not being announced anywhere else. This is our own little clubhouse.
But Valerie, how do I join the club?
You click the join button by subscribe.
But where?
By the subscribe.
Here on YouTube?
Here on YouTube. You don't have to go anywhere else other than Facebook for some of the perks.
Oh, it's so easy.
And there's a bunch of other perks. My super secret that I had that's coming out in the fall. The Toasty crew already knows about it because it was posted under the community tab. Community tab is available for PC or mobile phone. It is not available for tablets, at least not for mine on Google. It will automatically show up in your feed. So if you forget to go look in the community tab, if I post something, it'll automatically show up in your subscription feed.
You mean the super secret project that features?
Yes.
Sorry, that was close.
Yes. I have announced it to them.
Also, you're not going to tell them what I did with my hair, are you?
Yes. Do the members want to know? Jason Hubcap here did something to his hair last week. Yeah, he did that. So, I'm going to take a photo of him with his hat off. So if you want to see what he did to his head last week, that'll be in the member community post. Or I will also... We can make a super secret handshake. I had thought about that. And maybe we'll have a password to enter the super secret club. Well, in the live stream that we say to each other, you'll already be a part of it, so you don't have to do that part. And yes, you can change your level at any time. You can also cancel if things are hard that month. YouTube automatically takes it out through Google. It's automatically billed. You don't have to do anything for it. Anything else? I do really need to make a standalone video on this. There will be more emojis. I am working on some. And I don't know why those aren't working right now. They're supposed to be moving.
Dave's Creations is here.
Hey, Dave.
Coming at the tail end. Yeah, that's okay.
We're getting ready to leave. We just talked about the join button. Alrighty. So is there anything else? All you have to do is click the join button. It won't automatically join you, but it will show you the perks, and then you pick the perks that you want. And then I get to see who has joined and what level they are, so that I can make sure that everybody gets the right stuff. And post for like super secret stuff at higher levels, I can just edit who that goes to, and then you don't have to do anything. Alrighty. So next week we are just going to keep moving forward. I think that's what we'll do. I think that'll... Oh no, I said we'd do this next week, this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else? Did I forget anything else?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. Well, don't forget, because I always do, that you are awesome. You can do this. You're a pyro artist. Pop it faster. Happy burning, guys. Watch your videos. Be a member. Bye.